This wound controls you silently. Heal it before it's too late. A maternal emotional neglect can profoundly impact a relationship. Therapy provides a setting to address and heal childhood wounds. A Jungian approach emphasizes the importance of working through the absent maternal figure. I posit that your childhood was marked by a lack of maternal love and care. You have likely spent years searching for the connection, kindness, and acknowledgement that you felt were missing. Despite employing therapies, affirmations, meditation, and other efforts to achieve wholeness, you still experience a sense of incompleteness and inner disquiet. While efforts to understand you have been made, confronting this source of suffering proves challenging, yet you acknowledge its origin. Renowned depth psychologist Carl Gustav Jung posited that core emotional conflicts spring from ancestral roots, particularly those stemming from childhood. The maternal figure plays a unique and formative role in the development of the human psyche, transcending its biological function as a progenitor. The symbolic image of motherhood from the earliest years dictates profound patterns within the psyche, yet a perturbing and largely unexplored dynamic exists within this relationship, significantly shaping the individual. The profound pain stemming from the figure who, both biologically and emotionally, embodied love, security, and understanding, manifests deeply. The anticipation of affection, at times, leads us to blindness, and we encounter cold relationships, abusive control, a lack of affection and care. Newborns experience immense pain in the face of this. Instead of learning unconditional love, we internalize messages of rejection, listening to the voice of that figure, subsequently blaming ourselves, feeling remorse, shame, and fear, as if we did not deserve love. The pursuit of acceptance then becomes dependent on social validation. Jung identifies the core of our profound despair as a silent ache, stemming from the emotional frustrations of childhood. The anticipation of a genuine childhood, of a nurturing motherhood, fails to materialize, thus engendering a shared experience in all of us who grew up without the necessary affection. In lieu of care, we seek recognition and unconditional responses, something no child, with their immature minds and bodies, fully grasps as vital for the trajectory of life. The idealized shadow of the maternal figure still hovers over us, often unnoticed. We unconsciously seek this perfect archetype in others, partners, friends, spiritual guides, eager to fill the void left by the maternal affective absence. We crave the quiet understanding we felt was lacking in childhood, and to alleviate the pain of separation. However, no one can bear the weight of this projection, responding to the emotional wounds of childhood. No one is capable of fulfilling the idealized image of the mother as a protective divinity. Thus, while we wait for someone to fill the void of the past, we remain trapped in a cycle of dependence, disappointment, and an inability to actualize ourselves, bound to repetitive frustrations. Jung posits that the individuation process, the becoming of oneself, commences only when excessive emotional attachment to parents is severed. The issue is not a lack of love, but the individual's liberation from this dependence. This liberation occurs only when we cease projecting unrealistic desires onto others. The mother, consequently, ceases to be a savior goddess and is perceived as a human being with her own limitations, vulnerabilities, and personal history. Only then does the possibility of acceptance emerge. This is a seemingly simple yet crucial step. We become adults, finally comprehending that we cannot idealize and expect perfect maternal understanding, which in reality does not exist. Our life choices, endeavors, and achievements fundamentally seek this love. Though we often claim to have overcome resentment, the relentless human unconscious meticulously records and preserves the traces of this quest. It disregards calendars and dates. Its method of marking time is unique, uncontrollable, and never allows us to forget them. This is not straightforward, and Jung emphasizes that we will be different tomorrow if we do not confront and confess the aspects of ourselves that hinder our progress. The mask we wear, the attempt to disguise our fears and insecurities, ultimately compromises our self-assurance. Jung emphasizes the criticality of confronting our shadow selves, those aspects we perceive as flaws or weaknesses. These shadows frequently manifest as unfulfilled desires, painful memories resonating in our subconscious. Finding healing and self-awareness for these wounds is paramount to personal growth. The path to emotional maturity necessitates self-forgiveness and acknowledging our inherent vulnerability. Thus, true fulfillment lies in living a full and authentic life, eschewing the pursuit of illusory love, and acknowledging the unique tapestry of experiences and characteristics inherent to each individual. Crucially, the process of healing and individuation is a continuous odyssey, devoid of predetermined terminal points. You crave completion of what you began but could not finish. This void resides deep within your very being, a shadow cast by unrealized potential, a face you've attempted to conceal, yet remains evident, particularly in our subconscious reactions, words, and deeds. This is not a source of shame, but a summons to awaken. The severing of familial loyalties signifies not a departure, but an internal choice. At its core, this is one of the most courageous decisions one can make. One need not bear the burden that does not serve their journey. One can look upon their mother with compassion, yet pursue their own path. One can choose a new direction, a different way of living. Tranquility serves as the foundational premise. It is not the aggression of individuals wielding power that illuminates us, but rather the demonstrable disregard for our perspectives. Only then, when we cease our evasions, can we contemplate our very essence. This is not a relic of the past, but a vibrant testament to those who have overcome adversity. It is not a compilation of memories or a year etched with scars, but a person who embodies a latent and extraordinary capacity within. Philosophical texts offer no ready-made solutions, no guides to illuminate the path. Conscious healing eschews external direction. Anyone may point the way, yet the journey inward is an individual odyssey. Only you can descend into your inner sanctum, where the childlike voice yearns for peace. You hold the power to redeem the malediction within, the pain of goodness, without abandoning it or succumbing to it. It is your prerogative to forge a distinct and courageous existence. To achieve this, profound wisdom is essential, a wisdom that transcends illusions, a sincere introspection capable of embracing one's pain without evasion. In this honest quietude, the inner mother emerges. The critical voice that judges, imposes norms, and relentlessly demands. For too long, we accepted these voices as unquestionable truths, unchallenged and without genuine choices, guided solely by the heart. However, at a certain juncture, an internal resonance arises. I've lived through this. I am no longer a child. And at this point, everything transforms. By making the decision, however modest, to protect ourselves with the truth of our being, we initiate a path of authentic growth and genuine fulfillment, sustained by our own conscience. Recalling past narratives, you effectively revisit facets of your own life's trajectory. In internal dialogue, you deceive yourself. Your words become disingenuous. It is not virtue or specific kindness, as if a silent verb merely desired recognition of our existence, that stifles, but rather the spirit through a confluence of quotidian influences. Where I exist, you may also exist. The curatorial process of life permits liberation from self-sabotage and the limitations of existence. We must acknowledge ourselves as forces, grasping the message that rekindles truth. To achieve this, we must perceive our reality without subterfuge or artifice, confronting negativity, as when the end is good, without knowing who triumphed. The sole path to singular observation lies in the singular question. But ultimately, what does it mean to leave behind? Whom, precisely, are we prepared to release? The truth is, it all begins when we consciously choose to cease being prisoners of the past, and instead become architects of the present. To be other than we, or is to allow the light of consciousness to guide our steps, not to erase the marks of time, but to comprehend and transmute them. When we speak the truth, even in silence, we give voice to our soul. And it is in this space of inward listening that we recognize what we truly need to live a life brimming with fullness and purpose. Close your eyes for a moment and listen to what your heart has to say. The answer lies within. Thank you for being here. May your journey be light, conscious, and profoundly authentic. Until next time.